what's going on YouTube? 2010 Hyundai Sonata. As y'all can tell, I've got the front tires off, front wheels off, properly supported up on jack stands on both sides with a floor jack just in case. But I trust all this. It's all well good and solid. And I know what y'all are probably thinking, okay, what's going on today? Today we are replacing struts, front struts. And if I have enough time today, I am also going, if I have enough time today, I'm going to replace the back shocks. But I'm going to show y'all on how to remove these front struts out of the car. Now I know what y'all are probably thinking, oh, well, you have to remove the spring and all that. No. With a new pair of struts, since I don't feel like messing with the spring, went and got ordered the whole unit. The whole entire unit. So yeah, this is actually taking me a long while to do this. I was actually supposed to have this done last year, but with her working so much and stuff and me doing my thing and being cold weather and stuff, and just did not plan out. So today she's got a day off. I get to go out here, and while she's taking a nap, replace her front struts. So let's get started on this. For lubricant, we're going to use WD-40. You can use WD-40, PB Blaster, or Slick 50 lubricant. I chose to do WD-40. Tools. You might need the extension, may not. 12 millimeter or 11. Handy dandy 8-way. I'm going to call it an 8-way because multiple sockets on this. This actually comes in handy. Matter of fact, I've got 2 of them. But we're going to be using this, a ratchet with a 19 millimeter and a 14 millimeter. So we're going to go ahead and get started over here. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, you can actually use a socket, but since you can't get a socket on this nut here, you'll have to get a wrench to put back here because there's not enough clearance between the steering knuckle and the shock. So I have to get it on there really good. Hopefully get up underneath here because it's a tight fit where the hose is at. And the way they've got it made don't look like you can actually pull the hose off of the bracket. You have a nut or a bolt here, and you've got a bolt back here. You want to loosen all those up. That way this is kind of free and moved out of the way. Went and found my 12 deep weld. I've got a short weld, but this was actually most convenient. And we'll come back here on this one. Hopefully I don't touch the little orange button because that thing will knock me off my video. But you want to loosen all these up. I'm going to use the open end on this. This is a lot easier to do. And also what I like to do with my nuts, or my bolts, my nuts, put the bolts back in so you don't lose them. And I'm going to probably do this one the same way possibly. I may put this one actually on the side a little bit, but if it don't go all the way in, it'll be fine. Yeah, I'm going to just kind of stick that back in there. Okay, so you can get this all this kind of freed up, freed out of the way off of that. The next thing, we're going to go ahead and remove the stabilizer link off of here. Just have to remove this nut here and that'll pull out. Okay, so I got the link out, and if you come up here to the top, I think those are like 14 millimeter nuts. Take those out. Come down here, or while you're under here, there is a bolt that goes back there. I call it a pinch bolt because it pinches this over onto the shock, keeps it in there, keeps it from moving around. And I think it was I want to say it was a 17. Yeah, it's a 17. So once you got that all removed out, then you're going to come down here, and there is a nut here. And on this back side right there, there's a bolt. And I'll get to that here in a second. Guys, so if you can see where my ratchet's at, it's a 19. So both of those are actually a 19. Even though a standard will fit on it. No, it's a 19. Never mind. Because I've got one that's standard and one of these that are also metric, and I'm using the metric one. So this one's a 19, and that side's also a 19. You also might want to get you a cheater bar, which jack handle works perfect for this. Slide that out. I'm going to put that down here. Make sure it's on there. Or you can use a smaller cheater, and I may end up having to use a smaller cheater. Be right back. Or you can get an extension and then put the cheater on it, just like that. Okay, well, my extension didn't work like I planned, and since my cheater bar was too small, I found a smaller one that I could use as a cheater. It worked, and got it loosened. And once this bolt is all the way out, you can actually use the end of this, leave the nut on here on the end of it, and just kind of tap it, just like that. So that way you don't end up damaging your threads and everything. And then you can pull it out from the back side. Shit, hang on a second. That way you can grip a hold of that bolt and just slide it right on out of there. Alright, so if you can't get the bolt out, you can take a long flathead screwdriver or a long pick and put in there and get that thing centered on the end of that bolt, and take a little hammer, but I'm going to use my socket bunch and tap the end of it and knock that bolt out. Alright, so I got the bolt out. I had to use my ratchet a little bit on the end and push with the screwdriver. And you can also take your jack and also put up underneath here and lift it up a little bit if it kind of gets in a bind. But that way also works too. And just drop that sucker down. Now, one thing is, you may end up having to disassemble some more stuff. It's been a while since I've done struts and stuff, but you might be able to remove the steering knuckle out of the way, or drop the lower control arm. Well, you won't have to actually do that much of it. But we can get this thing finagled out of here. Actually, guys, you could probably actually leave this bolted in, because since you've got this bolt out, you could actually twist that, you know, twist this down here after you remove that bolt that's down here. Leave the shock itself bolted in. You can actually twist this bottom piece and get that knocked out. Then you can actually move up and move this complete shock completely out of the way. This whole strut assembly move completely out of the way. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done this, so pardon me. So yeah, so I've got my shock or my strut mounted. Okay, I just got my strut mounted up there just for those 3 bolts just to hold it in nicely. Okay, now watch this. Take these nuts off. I should have done this in the first place, but like I said, I didn't think about it until I started getting in here. Okay, now up. Should be able to just pull the shock down. There it goes. Okay, come on. Be careful with your brake lines. Just kind of move that out of the way. There you go. All right. Try to do this with 2 hands, guys. Oh my God, your brake line's getting in the way. Yes, I know. You see me doing everything I can not to pinch those brake lines. Okay, so that's simple. That's simple. Don't have to remove this. Don't have to remove the lower control arm. Don't have to remove CV axles. None of that stuff. Just that bolt down here. Leave your shock attached. Move the bolt down there. Move that bolt out of the way. You can wiggle it this little arm down and move the shock out of the way. Alright, so there's one strut, and everything's just in reverse order. And I may come back with a part 2 on this, you know, actually reinstalling. So I might do that. Alright, see y'all guys around. That's how you remove your front strut off of a 2010 Hyundai Sonata. Oh, this was fun. Alright, later guys.